Hey, fabulous fifth graders. Let's tackle this problem together today. A pet store owner will order dog beds for his shop. The relationship between X, the number of boxes he will order, and Y, the number of dog beds he will receive, can be represented by the equation Y equals 12X, which table contains only values that represent the equation. Let's stop and think for a second. 12X. When we see a number with a variable, that X is called a variable, when we see a number with a variable right beside it, what does that mean in math? What operation does that mean? Does it mean add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Well, it means I multiply 12 times whatever X is, whatever the variable represents. In this case, X represents the number of boxes he's going to order. So 12 times the number of boxes he orders tells us what Y will equal. And Y represents the number of dog beds. So I can think about it like this. Every box has 12 dog beds in it. So one box has 12 dog beds. 2 boxes has 24 dog beds. 3 boxes has 36 dog beds. So I'm thinking about a multiplicative relationship. Think back to that word. We talked in this unit about additive and multiplicative relationships. This is multiplicative because I'm using multiplication or division, but it's also multiplicative because every box has the same number of beds in it. So I'm multiplying the number of boxes times the number of beds. Multiplicative relationships are just when I'm looking at equal groups. So let's see which table contains only values that represent the equation y equals 12x. So let's look at our choice A. I'm thinking about the number of boxes. Each one of those boxes has 12 beds in it. So is 3 times 12 equal to 36? Yes, it is. I know some of my fifth graders stop right there and say, oh, A's the answer, I've got it right. But we need to check farther than that because there's no reason to think that only the first line will prove our answer is correct. And here's where I want to show you why you have to be careful. Look at the first line of C. It's correct. Look at the first line of D. It's correct. What's wrong with the first line of B? Well, 2 times 12 is not 14. 2 times 12 is 24. This would be 2 plus 12. And that's not the relationship that we're looking for. So we've eliminated B. But here's the problem. If we do what a lot of fifth graders do and just stop at the first line, I have 3 right answers. And I can't have 3 right answers. So I have to keep going. This asks me which table contains only values that represent the equation. That means every value in that table has to represent this equation. So let's go back to A. Is 6 times 12 equal to 72? Yes, it is. Is 9 times 12 equal to 108? Yes, it is. If you don't know that, how could you figure it out? Well, you could go over on the side, do some scratch work. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So yes, 108. Is 15 times 12 180? You may not know that off the top of your head. Let's figure it out. 15 times 12. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Remember, now I'm multiplying by a value of 10. So every time I multiply times 10, it ends in 0. That's why that 0 is there. It's not a placeholder. It's not just to help us remember to put a 0 there. It's there because this is representing 10. And when I multiply by 10, the value in the ones place is 0. So 10 times 15 is 150, not 15 and a placeholder. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. I add those together. I get 180. So that checks out. Now, here's what I don't want you to do. Circle A, call it done, move on to the next question. I want you to prove why C and D are not the right answer. We've already proved why B is wrong. Let's figure out why C and D are wrong. Then we know we've proven A is correct and all the others are incorrect. So let's look at C. We've already proven 6 times 12 is 72. It was right there in A. We've already proven 9 times 12 is 108. It was right there in A. But what about 15 times 12? Well, we've already proven right here that it equals 180. It does not equal 144. 12 times 12 equals 144. So if he was getting 144 dog beds, he would have ordered 12 boxes, not 15. So now we know why C can't be our answer. Let's look at D. The first line checked out. 2 times 12 is 24. Is 6 times 12 36? Let's look at 6 times 12. We already said in A and C that 6 times 12 is 72, but we didn't prove it. We just said we know that math fact. Let's prove it to make sure we're right. So 6 times 12, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 72. 6 times 12 is not 36. 6 times 6 is 36. 10 times 12, 10 times 12 is 120. And we've proven this one. 14 times 12 is nowhere near 60. We already know that 6 times 12 is more than 60, so 14 times 12 can't be 60. So we have proven the correct answer is A, and we know why the others are wrong. So we feel confident in our answer, and that's always our goal.